And we are live Wednesday night with those guys. And Wednesday night with those guys is sponsored by those guys.
What's up? Let's see. Here
What's
we
good?
go. Here, the delay just started. Yes, we are. I got the alert in the corner, and I got the alert on my phone. Oh, let me turn it.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Wednesday night with those guys. How's everyone doing?
Yes.
Hump day. Who are you humping?
I'm having a conversation here before the live stream with Wells Rob. I was telling him that I had some camera drone footy to look at, and he was like, "You camera drone footy?" Because he only knows me as the FPV person.
Oh,
well, Rob, if you go down past that playlist, the good, the bad, and the ugly, you'll see that those guys live streams, and then you'll see 4K video. A lot of that 4K video is camera drone stuff. Hey, Michael Blades. But the reason I started buying FPV was to combine the FPV with the camera drone. But I had to learn how to fly first. No, you didn't miss anything, Brand Aerials. How are you? Welcome to Wednesday Nights with those guys. Dave Innes, how are you, sir? What's going on?
That's good, man. Welsh Rob, Dave Innes. How you guys doing this evening? Oh, is that Michael Blade? What's good, man? It's hump day, Lawrence, the middle of the week.
So, how are you, Herman? What's good, man? How are you guys out there in the chat?
I'm hanging in there, trying to survive.
I hear you. I'm actually doing the same thing. Like I was saying, I was telling Welsh Rob that I had some footage to look at. In fact, and during the live stream, I'm going to take it out while we're talking and copy it over to the hard drive so I can look at it. But I've been recording this 10-acre development that used to be a shopping mall, and I started a year and a half, almost 2 years ago, recording it from the basement.
Gotcha.
And now they're up to 10 and 12 and 15-story buildings, and they finally capped them off and they put the brick face on and stuff. And now the scaffolding's coming down. So eventually, when all the scaffolding is down, that'll be it, because then they'll hang the flag on top, like they do with buildings.
The flag should have went up when the steel finished.
What happened?
The flag goes up when the steel is finished.
It goes up when it's topped.
Yeah. We don't see you, Tom. Your camera's off. But anyway, I have been recording this building for a year and a half, 2 years. And finally, they're breaking off the buildings. They're throwing the windows in it. Then they're taking the scaffold down. And I wanted a version of it with half the scaffold and half the building, looking nice and clean. So now the next shot will be with all of the scaffolding down, and then I'll be able to compile all of the footage.
How you doing there, Tom?
And you know how to make the buildings grow in time lapse. Well, I've never done a project like that before.
Okay.
To this extent. I've actually done it before, but I've skipped months ahead of time. But these people here, I've been going back when it was cold out, to show the progress and stuff like that. What's up, Tom? How are you? But anyway.
Oh, good.
That's it. Lens capture. What's good? How are you?
Another day. What's different than yesterday?
Another one. You know what it is? When Monday gets, I'm like, damn, Wednesday will be here before I know it. And then when Thursday gets here or Friday, I'm like, wow, Sunday will be here. And it's like,
stay out of my head.
Yeah. Daryl Hickman, hello from Connecticut. How are you? That should be, well, I've never done it before, and I've made sure specifically where I launch from that I take the same height and I make a couple of the flights. I've been lining them up. It's just a matter of using transitions to get them to meld together. But yeah, you should see the building from the parking lot structure go all the way up to complete. That's the objective.
How you doing there, David? I'm loving those videos you're doing there, David.
David, how are you? Desmond's Dundee. Hold on a second. I have to yell for them to cut my daughter. Hey, Matt, how are you? To cut the stove off.
If you haven't gotten a chance to check out,
hey Matt,
I'm a David.
Hey, Dave.
It's almost like you watching a little mini documentary.
Huh?
Yeah.
David,
Desmond.
Desmond. Yeah. I like his videos. So yeah, Tom, how's everything going other than it's just
Another work week. Another work week, man.
All right. Well, I've been here, I had to just doing my therapy, doing my thing. They got me doing this thing now. Oh God, they really roughed me up yesterday.
Oh yeah.
They got me doing this thing where I stand on what looks like a flat platform, and it's got like a semicircle under the bottom, and I gotta rotate the ankle,
right,
and take the heel down, heel to toe as the ankle rolls. Yeah, that
you got to strengthen up those muscles. They all atrophied, right?
And then they were digging into the scar tissue with this little tool that they have.
Yeah,
that wasn't fun.
No, I don't think it would be. They gotta work that out, bro. You let that go for so long.
Well, no, that's from the surgery, from the first surgery.
You see
It's all the scar tissue, and then it atrophies because you're rehabbing.
You see what Brant Ariels put? Tom must
Yeah.
spend a fortune on electricity to run all those monitors.
Oh.
You see them twitching away in the background? If you blink quick enough, you can.
You blink your eyes, right?
So, Tom, you run it outside to the pole.
Dude, I'm just happy I don't have one of those Texas electric bills, okay?
You remember that back in the day, Lawrence?
What?
When they would like when they'd have street parties, instead of someone using the power from their home, they'd hook it up to the pole.
Dude, I made an art of that.
I've been to many hip hop street events where they use the power lines. Then the city started coming and shutting them down, which I don't blame them for.
Well, what we used to do, and this was on the legit, okay? Mm-hmm. But we used to have to provide power at long-term operations. And the easiest way to do that was you would bug into the base of the street pole.
Mm-hmm.
Now the key is you got to bug in. They have a bug nut there. It's basically, it's a split nut. Herman will know what it is. Mm-hmm. Okay. You got some, usually 6 to 8 gauge wire.
Yeah.
That's feeding up. And then off of that, okay, you have it going up to the ballast in the light. Now, you want to make sure you're taking off the feed and not running your draw through the ballast. And we'd have to hook up those, the large field comms and mobile command units and long-term operations. So we bug into the base of the pole. And of course, it was always my buck knife that one of my partners borrowed that would get welded into the base of the pole. Herman, because he would he'd short it out, and then I have to go knock it out with a hand sledge, and then go find the street vault to reset the breaker. But we used to do that all the time, and we used to bug into the base of the phone booths also. Okay, to provide quick communications, a quick landline to the command post. So. Yeah, we made an art form of that. And then the boys up on Ogden Avenue there, they kind of scouted us a few times while we were doing that in the neighborhood, and a couple of 5-alarm fires. And the next thing you know, hip hop was born in the South Bronx there. 4 a.m. in the morning, man, more electricity going to Ogden Avenue Park than anywhere else in the South Bronx.
Listen, I remember.
So for those of you that don't know the history, Tom is partially responsible for spreading hip hop across the country.
Yes. If you may not have known. Many hip hop events were copied from what Tom was talking about. And
there's a lot of, that's a lot of sound to push. You need some power.
You know what the fire department finally did out here, Tom?
What was that?
Every Friday night or Saturday night, depending on whether it was a school or not, but mostly during the summer, it was Saturday nights. The guys would go into the park with their big speakers and everything, and they would sit up and they would scratch. And then after a while, it got to the point they started rapping while the guy was scratching. And
Right.
the fire department came and shut them down about 3 times. And then they came to a point and realized that, hey, this crime rate is going down. Everyone's in the park listening to music. So what? They're drinking a little and having fun, but everybody's there and there's no distress in the project. So the
Well, what were
firemen
they shutting them
actually,
down for?
but the
Too
firemen
large of a
actually
crowd?
hooked in a pigtail for the guys to
Yeah.
run because they
Just
got
that.
tired of them opening the box up and doing whatever they were doing. And they actually hooked up a pigtail, waterproof pigtail. And when the guys wanted to party there,
They
they
just
would
had to
pull
pop
the
the
cap
hatch.
off, they'd pull
Yeah.
up the waterproof cap off and screw in an outlet. And it went like that for many years until they started getting stupid. But yeah, I remember those days.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, Recovery One? And I actually used to design
Everyone, what's up?
subwoofers for some of these guys. I started out doing that in a little rinky-dink club, and some guy came and was
Yeah.
like,
I had a
"Dude,
friend on the
you
job.
know,
That was his side gig. He built towers. He built
yeah,
speaker
Okay.
towers, man.
yeah, that's what I used to build subwoofers."
My grandfather was into that.
And I
Yeah.
actually had a 360-degree design where the 15-inch woofer faced up like this, and it was basically 2 feet by 2 foot box, but it was 4 feet tall, like a tower. And
Right.
at the bottom, I had, of course, fiberglass inside and ports. So the bass would come down out of the bottom. The reverb, when the woofer went in this way, the bass came out that way. And when it went up this way, there were 6-inch poles on each end with a flat top. So if you put the speaker in a room, it was 360 degrees. If you put it in a corner, it covered that. And the guy figured, he was like, yo, who did that? Those speakers, you can feel the music with those speakers. And I wind up building speakers for this guy in a club.
But yeah. See, those things that,
That was a great summer.
Yeah.
That was a great summer, Tom.
Well, Lawrence, remember I was telling you last week I was looking at this article and then Engadget on the computer, and said that Tesla had dropped the price on their entry level model, a Model 3 and Model Y
Mhm.
car. Model 3 was by $1,000 and the Model Y by $2,000.
Hey,
Now I'm
Marcel.
looking at another article that says that you can't find the Model Y entry level on their site anymore. That they're not offering it. So now I don't know. I'll check into it and see what's good. But
That's
apparently
good.
not offering it. But I
Making room.
heard something that they were making room or may be making room for this new car.
making room for the next.
Yeah, so the Model 2 is a newer entry level car.
Right.
So they
Mhm.
want to have something mid-level entry and I guess something low for people because this car is now starting at 40 something thousand. That's not for the average Joe.
Yeah, 40,000 is not for the average Joe. You're
Sorry,
right.
that's not a high end car anymore, man.
No, it's
40
not.
grand.
But they have cars that are
Okay.
cheaper. But the what is it? The Model 3 was a little cheaper, and then now this
And then they have an S.
Model 2 they coming out with supposed to be even cheaper than that. So they want to get something in everybody's area. I guess that's what I
I've lost
believe.
our heart.
Basically, they're pulling the DJI. They're covering all platforms of the market.
Yeah.
Why not?
Well,
Yeah.
well, true. But you
Got a
know,
product
how,
that
like,
sells, just on name.
yeah, why
That's
not?
the way it works, man. That's what you're open for, right? We're
True,
gonna buy
true.
something coming up soon anyway, just because of the name. So
Oh yeah.
how are we any different?
But you know how like how YouTube has
Hey, Lost Girl, how are
they
you? Andy?
suggest, hey, Lost Girl, they suggest videos to you based on what you watch.
Yeah.
Well, Netflix is supposed to be coming up with a feature similar to that, where they're going to automatically, what you have to do is you really do have to opt into it. But what they're going to do is they're going to download shows for you based upon what you like. and they have it in what is it, 1 gig, 3 and 5 gigabytes, and they're gonna download these shows for you based on what you like. So I guess it's through an algorithm, just like how YouTube has suggested videos to you based on the
Yeah.
videos that you watch.
Yeah.
That's just a feature that they're supposed to be coming up with on Netflix.
Okay. That's fine and dandy,
Hmm.
but it will come to a point where you will only see commercials for stuff you're interested in. The reason most people change the channel is because it's something they're not interested in, you know?
Hmm.
So if
Right.
you see commercials, all right, we already know if you talk in front of Alexa about real estate, you'll start getting emails and seeing stuff about real estate and buying houses and stuff like that. It's the
True.
same thing with your phone. My wife was talking about something on her phone, and she had her phone in her hand while we were talking. And like 2 to 3 days later, she started getting advertisements for it. Facebook does it, so why
Everybody's
not?
doing it.
Yeah. Facebook
Everybody's
does it.
doing it.
Everybody does it.
Hmm.
They take it, the world is logistics. It's about taking any type of information or any type of source and finding out that you, Herman, and you, Tom, like that source.
Hmm.
And now I will even sell it to my competitor.
There's a term in the industry. It's called being in the hive. You're in the hive.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
So, it's all these
Hey,
focused
hey,
marketing. You can opt out, but it's a tiring thing to opt out of, and go through all these
it
privacy
is, and your
settings, and
stuff doesn't
they're
work
hoping
the
you
way
don't,
it's
right?
supposed to.
How many end user license agreements do you read? You check the box because you want to get to the next thing.
Right,
Okay.
because it's annoying.
So people want to get to the website. They get
Allows.
pissed after some point in time when they keep seeing the same damn uh uh you know Airbud commercial from some
Mhm.
competitor over and over again because you happen to click on it once in Facebook. Now all you do is get tagged everywhere you go for those set of earphones.
Yeah,
So it gets annoying, but you didn't take the time to opt that out.
Hmm.
So,
and by
and
opting,
opting out is not a perfect
opting
science either, right? Just like you
right,
opt out of getting spam calls
and
until they figure out how to defeat that technology, then now you get spam calls again.
the
And
thing
you get
is,
them
with
again.
opting out, Tom, certain things won't work.
Dude, what's
Like
up?
I don't
Look, if
see
it's
how.
reputable and you opt out, they're bound by FTC. If they're not reputable, well, guess what? They weren't reputable in the first place. So what do you think they
True.
would follow the rules, right?
I find it hard that you go to download a game like chess or something, and
Hmm.
it wants control of your contacts in your phone book and control of your camera. Yet
Because
somehow,
marketing, you just downloaded a game for free. You
yeah,
want something for free.
yeah,
You know what's
And
funny
they're
about that,
figuring,
Mark?
well, what is this really costing you just to forget to check a box to say you don't want it? Okay. And the next thing you know, they're weeding through your contacts, and then everybody on your contact list gets spammed.
yeah.
You,
Data
you,
exactly shows super duper data mining.
you know what's
Yeah.
funny about that? What you mentioned, Lawrence? Norton Security. I
Hmm.
downloaded a flashlight from the, the Play Store,
Right.
and it told me that that's not a safe. That's not a safe
Not a
app.
safe site. Right.
Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of
All it
stuff
is a
out there
flashlight.
that's malicious. Reading is
And
fundamental.
and you see, it's like people look at it like, okay, it's just a flashlight.
How many sites? Look, I get it. I get it probably twice a day.
Hmm.
I have some service with 1&1.
Hmm.
Okay, I have some managed service with 1&1.
Right.
So I get spammed every day that my accounts have been compromised.
Hmm.
All you got to do is hover over the link. And first off, don't react to links. Go to the site you have credentials on and log in
Calling them.
and set up two-factor authentication. Please spare yourself the heartache of not doing that. But you go in and you look at this email and it looks somewhat legit and it's a call to action. Oh, you got to act on this right away. Click here.
Scam likely.
Right.
If you roll over that link, you'll see it's going to 1&1 dash site now others.com. Well, that's not one-on-one.com.
Right.
Okay. So people can spoof. Besides that, they can spoof addresses. So I happen to have my header visibility turned on so I can see the actual header information in the email.
Okay.
But it's a lot to deal with, though. And how many people just click on a link because they want to see what's next? And that's when it happens.
Mm-hmm.
But I have McAfee Live Scan,
Okay.
and I have Malwarebytes Pro. Okay. And of course, you know, I have a hardware firewall as well.
Hey, Tom, you want to flash to the past?
Mm-mm.
Hold on. Hold on a sec. So last time you seen one of these?
There you go. That's an
Hold on.
original.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's a Zoom. That's a Zoom.
No.
Oh, that's the original.
This is the original, man.
Oh, turn it back around. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, this is the original. I
yeah.
just have a skin on it, but I, like I said, I'm working on that little project, and when I started recording it, I started recording it on this. So it doesn't make sense to go from this to the Phantom, and all the footage, all the settings are right. I have
Right.
my cloudy day, sunny day, almost rainy day, all of my settings set up. So all I do is just get there and go up in the air. But it's funny. I love putting a vest on. Because first of all, near construction sites, all the guys that are working there have vests. All right, so give her to her. So give her. I don't care. Okay. All right. But anyway, I started recording with it, and I said I will finish the job with it, provided she holds out. And she's been fine. I've been taking care of it. I did have 3 batteries, but now I'm down to 2. But that's okay. I don't mind so much. I've had
Actually,
a
isn't
great,
that amazing?
a
You still
great
got
run.
batteries that work for the Mavic original,
And
and
they
we
did-
can't keep batteries running for the Mavic 2 Pro.
Well, Anthony Charles, his Mavic 2 Pro, the batteries are
See a
splitting.
crack?
They're splitting in the back, and
Yeah.
he puts a zip tie over his drone. So
Well, it's got to go somewhere.
this is true.
So it's going along that weak point, which of course is where you got the punch out for the power button.
Mm-hmm. Yep,
That's where you got the fracture.
That's exactly where the split is on the power
And
button.
then a couple of folk were talking about taking a drill and drilling some vent holes in their batteries. I would
That's not
caution.
smart.
I would
do
caution you against that practice.
I would too. That's not really
But
smart.
if you feel compelled, we will not. I would love to see the video, but we will not rebroadcast the video here because we don't want to, get you to do it for the
exactly.
a little bit of
Right,
notoriety you think you get from this.
I wouldn't
don't get a lot.
recommend that because you
This is true.
can't control how deep you may go once.
Well, but you have to estimate what you think is the depth of that plastic. I mean, is it 125? Is it, like
I wouldn't want to risk it.
But the problem is, all you got to do is short out a cell.
It's like drilling into dynamite, though.
It's like,
Something's gonna happen.
okay, it's very much like throwing an aerosol can into a fire. Okay.
Yeah, I shot 4.
You're expecting fireworks, and instead it feeds you up shrapnel. Okay.
I shot 4.62K.
Hey, wasn't there just somebody again? These gender reveal
there
parties.
was.
These gender reveal parties. Really, people?
Yes,
Okay, we're
there
not even
was,
sure
bro.
anymore in this society. You're not sure what gender your kid is until they develop their own mind and want to figure it out on their own, and maybe go, call me they. I don't know.
Not
but-
my father's house.
But they're you know what it is though? These gender reveal parties are really,
Ridiculous.
It's another baby shower. But now that the women are all like, "Ooh, my husband's excited." Yeah, why is he excited? Because you let him go up in the woods to some clandestine meet to buy fireworks. In New York City, they're illegal, folks. That's why we have to be clandestine about it. Okay. But then they blow themselves up with the fireworks.
Hey, Corey.
Okay.
What were they doing? Because
And-
then his brother is full of shrapnel now.
Yeah, but I don't know. I do they really think they're putting on a Sambuchi show or a fireworks show? You always see the guys with the Roman candle. Boof, boof,
Tom,
boof.
Tom,
I mean,
Tom,
come on, guys.
Tom,
Okay.
You can get a big box with a ribbon.
You should get a big box and just light it up, dude. Do you
No,
realize
get a big box.
we put
with a
fire
ribbon
marshals
and put some balloons in it with helium and tack the balloons to the box. So that way, when you pull a ribbon and it opens up the box, the balloons open up. No one's dead. No one's hurt. There's no blue dye all over everyone.
Look,
You know,
look at what happens here around Independence Day, right? With the people with the firework arrest, and they think we're just bad guys because we shut you down. And
you're right, Joe. It is a revenue stream because people have found a way to try and outdo each other.
Yeah, well, that's what it is. No, you missed my point. The women are just happy the men want to participate. Okay? They already know how dumb and immature men are.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
Speaking from pure experience. Okay. So you turn around and you
clues of what you're
say, yeah, okay, whatever they want to do. Yeah, bring fireworks. That's all, but this is the kind of stuff that happens. It's just
happen, right? When we reveal.
Well, you want to know what how
I don't know. You know what our
is?
gender reveal was? It's a boy. Yeah.
Right. But Tom, I've seen
then
a gender reveal.
The ultrasound picture thing, and that wasn't enough.
Dude, I was in EMS. Okay, I delivered too many babies out there. Okay.
Hey, fly guy.
That's the right time to do a gender reveal. Okay.
Hey, guys.
Well, you know what? The one that I saw in court, on one of these court TV shows, they wanted to reveal the gender. So this guy that's known for peeling out and doing burnouts in parking lots, let's just follow that part of the story alone by itself. Hey, Roger, he found out that there's a chemical you can put on the exhaust pipe and it'll come out either pink or blue. So the guy's doing donuts and he goes out, he loses control and slams into 3 cars and then says, well, I don't think that I should have to pay for it because the guy who sold me the chemical said that it would dissipate. And what happened as he was doing donuts, he lost orientation and he slammed in the cars. But to make a long story short, it was a gender reveal party.
Oh, I was going to say he was a chemist and a auto enthusiast. Okay.
No, there was a gender reveal party.
So that tells me right there
to do this at the party, but it was a cul-de-sac.
Oh, I thought you were going to say that's like the father, because I would say right away I'm going to say not qualified to have a kid. Okay.
Well,
somebody's got to start making that determination.
Being the big kid in the house, they might fit in.
What are we here? We're big kids. Okay.
Well, I mean, yeah, but there's certain games already better not to do.
Yeah, because we the firecracker went off in our hands as kids. Okay.
No, it never happened to me.
Except you got to remember, back then you heal a lot quicker.
See,
yeah,
I was that kid. I was that kid that was very good with, don't go near the stove, it's hot, no problem. Don't go over there, it's dangerous, no problem.
Listen,
I was that kid that was always good.
I had a firecracker pop in my hand, and luckily it was away from my face. As a little kid, and from that point on, I never picked up a firecracker. I always lit it up while it was laying on the ground. The fuse was the same length as the regular fuse, but for some reason, this one was wrapped loosely or whatever.
Yeah, and it side lit.
Right, and when I lit it, it just said like that quick, and I got to blink like this, and I was holding it. When I finished, my hand was like that, and it burned. It burned more than hurt, but I do remember that incident, and from that time on, I learned. Back then, we had to learn, Tom.
Remember Jason?
They said don't lick the street lamp in the winter. They meant not to do that.
Well, see, Lawrence, I was good.
Gender is fluid in today's society. Calling the kids gender at birth is not accurate anymore.
Lawrence, exactly. I was good at watching the kid like you that held it in his hand I'm not doing
Yeah,
that.
Herman watched them. Yeah. I was the
Yeah.
kid who wanted to see whether I could bridge the gap between the two buildings because we were playing on the roofs and jump from one to the other. Okay. So
Well,
yeah,
Now, see
that I
that-
think helped
I'm
start my
not gonna say
career.
we did.
I
I'm
never
not gonna
played
say we
around
didn't
that.
do that because I
Yeah.
never seen one of my friends go down. But
You guys remember well, I don't want to call it schoolyard, dude, because we played street yard. But Johnny Go Ride the Pony.
uh-huh.
Yeah.
Do you remember
Yeah.
that game?
Hmm.
I've
Well, you
seen
took-
it played. I've
You
never
took
done it.
one kid was your pivot kid. He went against the wall, back to the wall. And then the
Yeah.
next kid would bend at the waist and grab that kid at the waist. And then each of his teammates would wind up behind them, grabbing onto
Hey,
the
what's up, Bill?
next kid's waist until you had like this pony. Okay. And then the opposing team would take a running start and jump on their backs.
Hmm.
And you won by the team crashing down. I think they call this an orthopedic emergency now. Okay.
Yeah.
Some of the things we used to
I don't
do.
know. The kids back then were tough.
Well, dude, we were out all day, right?
Made out of Gumby.
We were out all day. We were out all day on the street.
That's
Be
true.
home by the time the lights come on.
Yeah, Lawrence. The kids back then playing those type of games are made out of that same stuff that Gumby's made out of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Today,
Gumby and Pokey.
like you said, gender fluid porcelain.
Yeah. Yeah.
You see what Bill put? He said, is it rumored? What did he say? Who just messaged me that Herman brought the DJI FPV combo kit?
It's sitting there. Oh, it's behind the Phantom box.
What happened?
He's going to do his. Not see. We were just segueing from gender reveal to Herman reveal. Okay.
How easy it is to go squirrel.
You know what? I'm quite sure everybody saw. We talked about it on Sunday with was a flight 328, the one that left out of Denver that was headed to Honolulu. That
Yeah.
Mhm.
the
Yeah.
Boeing B777.
Yes.
Well,
Yeah, we just did a
Everybody-
rundown on that with the after action report.
well, it's just it was
231.
bad. And thank God no one on the ground was hurt, like we talked about the other day. But Tom, what did they mention something? I think the NTSB mentioned something about metal fatigue that caused the motor.
Well, I'll give you a recap on those that don't know the full story. United 328, a 777-200
Hawaii bound.
Hawaii bound 7-hour flight out of Denver,
Yeah.
and took off out of runway 25. She was transiting from takeoff. She was given clearance to get up to altitude, and she had to accelerate up to about 300 knots. And it looks like, and because there's some footage out there, you can actually see what happened was the cowling and the intake inlet came off the aircraft. There was, I believe it was 4 minutes into the flight at approximately an altitude of 12,000 feet. There was an explosion, a big bang, and the cowling itself and the inlet, that big ring. In fact, there's plenty of photos out there where that big ring inlet landed in almost
I'm trying
intact.
to pull one up now.
And
Right
so the pilot immediately called
Herman,
the
you gotta turn
Mayday.
it on.
Oh,
The pilot immediately called the Mayday. What it looks like when you see the footage of one of the passengers' phone
There it is.
video, where you see the engine actually hanging there on the wing, and it's shaking. It's shaking because if you look at the fan blades, you'll notice that it appears one of them is missing.
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So in all likelihood, what happened was on the rapid acceleration, it wound up maybe shearing off, and then, of course, being sucked through, caused the
Mhm.
explosion.
And damaging other blades.
So yeah, well, the wobble that's seen in the actual video of this photo is because of the uneven balance now because of that missing blade. And the flames you see along the side there are a result of the fuel lines being cut
I'm trying to get
and
some.
still feeding fuel in.
I'm trying to get some footage of it. Here, I found some. Hold on a second. I just want to make sure all the commercials and stuff are out of the way.
So one thing I would recommend if you have interest in this is to definitely go up on YouTube or go up on the news.
This is
sites.
the actual. This is re-recorded footage of the engine and the vibration.
Yeah, and yeah.
That was actually taken from someone inside the plane.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's from somebody sitting there. If you can see it wobbling back and forth. There's a blade missing, and that is causing that wobble.
Uneven
Plus,
spin.
of course, it's no longer aerodynamic.
right. Of course.
You know, and you can see the sheer force
If
in
you
which
look
that
at
was
this
blown
wing
off.
here, this wing is like vibrating a little bit too.
Yeah,
Well-
it would, of course. That pylon has to have some level of flexibility.
Yeah,
Because
or else it
remember
would have
when
sheared off.
when the
If not, it
engine
would
is
just break off.
when the engine is thrusting and reversing, it does have a certain amount of load on that wing, and that wing is stabilized for that load. But remember, that wing is full of fuel. Okay. And there's nowhere to dump this fuel right now. I
True.
think they came in fairly heavy, which actually, listen to the audio if you can with ATC and the pilot. You'll hear the stress in the pilot's voice when he first calls the Mayday. But then, you can tell true professionals, both in the tower, on the ground, and even the crew in the cabin.
Yes.
They did a wonderful job. Aviation is always a team effort. One thing the industry has to stay away from is this move towards like a single pilot cockpit. Realize what was going on after this Mayday was called. The pilot asked for a return to Denver, got it right away. Then when he was given a direct approach to any runway he wanted, the pilot told ATC, got to give me some time, got to go through my checklist, and I got to stabilize. I got to stabilize my flight route. And also because of the excess weight,
There's debris falling.
But because of the excess weight with all the fuel, because remember, it was a 7-hour flight, and this was only a matter of minutes after taking out of Denver. So they had to do a protracted safety checklist with the excess weight, landing with the excess weight. And pilot was very calm throughout the entire thing. Is probably the first officer running through the checklist so the pilot could concentrate on maneuvering the aircraft. The pilot made a series of left-hand turns, and the reason for that is you never want to turn a wing on a dead engine because it's the recovery from the turn that you'd have a problem.
You might not be able to level off.
Well, that's the recovery from the turn is where it's difficult, right? Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. But kudos.
Yes.
Most definitely.
Air travel is still the safest, bro.
Great
Still the
job
same.
by that crew.
Yeah.
The way they handled that.
Yeah, I would agree with that because you have to have
E-drone, you have
nerves of
clearance to
steel.
land, E-drone.
not nerves of steel, but you have to have some common sense about yourself.
You know what it is? It's remember these are ATPs, okay? These are air transport pilots. And you go through simulated, you have to go through X number of hours of simulated training every year. And that simulated training is all these emergency drills. And it's the repetitiveness, it's the muscle memory, okay? And it's knowing what could go wrong at the end and making the corrections for it while you're in the simulator instead of playing that, well, I don't know what's going to happen next when you're in the cockpit. So, the National Highway Safety, NTSB is, of course, going to conduct a full investigation, and we'll probably get a lot more information as this continues to go down the road.
So, who's anticipating next week, Tuesday?
Well, come on, put it up. Who's got it? Throw it up on the screen. DJI, it's on their site. So
You know,
why don't we run their quick? You
Their
have
video?
their
Yes.
video?
Yes, I
everybody's
do have.
anticipating the release
Yes,
or
I
the
do
launch
have
of this thing next week,
this
Tuesday,
video.
and they
And
have another little video.
Herman and I were talking about it. It's a very short clip, but
It
it's
doesn't
on
have to be very
DJI's
long to get
homepage.
my plastic out of the pocket. So
This is supposed to be the FPV bird. That's all the talk.
Footage from it.
this is direct footage from it. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And keep in mind,
It's only a
it-
13-second
it
clip.
goes up to 4K.
4K 60 frames, 1080p at 120 frames.
Yeah.
Um,
I would
you know,
love to run 120 frames on
this
10.
is a cinematic dream as far as I'm concerned. And guys, let's not kid ourselves. That's who it's for us camera drone folk. It's not for you hardcore FPVs. Okay. You'll have to fly this heavy little beast in manual mode and go through a series of menus just to get there. This is for a guy like me who wants that, that extra dramatic footage and can travel up to 60 miles an hour now, with low strafing runs at 60 miles an hour. That's going to look sick,
Well, you know
especially
what?
coming over a
Also-
ridge.
You're right, Tom. And I was telling this to Lawrence. It's the same thing I said about Skydio. This is another tool that a small filmmaker can put into his bag that can get something now that he wouldn't have been able, shots he would have been able to get before.
True. This
Yeah,
is true.
it's for that person. It's for the person who has to own everything that DJI has ever put out.
All that
Okay. It's for the first person thinking they're going to get into FPV, but don't realize
DJI, where's
it's
the
a pretty
watch?
expensive. You could get into FPV a lot cheaper.
Well, I'm
than this.
pretty sure, Tom, it's going to be the craze because even this picture here of this controller, which is supposed to be
Flyability, fluidity. Scott, what was it? Scott Pravinsky?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Parazinski.
Parazinski. Scott
Parazinski,
Parazinski, NASA astronaut and physician, cardiologist.
Yes.
In fact, it was funny because Xavier was on and we had gone back and forth on this, and he said it looked like, a Skydio's controller, and I'm like, no, it looks like Fluidity's controller. In fact, I lent
Without the
Xavier that
base.
Fluidity joystick, and now I think Big John has that joystick.
Without the base.
Yeah, without the base, and this is exact. Tell me, this isn't the dream
Hey,
to have
Tim,
these goggles
Rhea,
on
welcome.
and just have that sense. Oh, so the other thing is there was another page up. Okay, Get FPV had a page up with a lot of detail on it. That page has since been taken down.
Okay.
Yes.
I tried to send it to Lawrence and Herman, but I didn't snip it. I just actually tried to grab it out of Google Cache, but
Right.
no longer there. But the thing is that so there was question about on the controller itself, and I don't have one in front of me. Hold on a second. Yeah, maybe I do. The stick.
Right.
Okay.
Well,
Oh, it's not
goes
true
back to
FPV
zero.
because it's self-centering, right? But what it actually has, it has a screw on the back.
Oh, go ahead, Tom. Go
Okay,
ahead, so I can
on
show
the
you a picture.
controller, that DJI is supplying with the DJI FPV drone. There's actually a screw on the back that you adjust, and then that stick becomes a standard RC stick that the FPV flyers are used to, the dead stick. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Now this controller, I love. Look at that controller, man. Didn't they give me my missile fire, my
Wait,
launch
hold-
button on there, baby?
you
Come
want me
on.
to pull it back up?
Yeah, pull that back up. Didn't I say
Hold
that
on a
just the
sec.
other day? As long as it comes with my my firing button, I'm all set. Look at that. There it is.
Now, I'm
There it is.
noticing right here, it says lock. And I'm wondering what they want to lock. I'm thinking because if you look at this black piece right here, that's a multi-directional button. And I would
It looks like the one that's directly below it is also.
Yes. But
Okay.
this one is wide enough.
Looks like
for
a
your
five-way
thumb.
switch.
It's wide enough for your thumb. So I don't know if that has to do with I I can't even speculate
I
because I
love that
haven't
the
seen it.
trigger. Okay, come on, man. That's the
Yeah.
way to control that.
The speed on
Okay,
it.
the speed.
But
Yeah.
see, now that's taking the fun out of flying because
No, it's
by
what do you
pulling the
mean? It's
trigger means
you
you're
have your
going
fun. I have
faster.
my fun.
Huh?
Okay, you have your fun. I have my fun. Why? I can't like putting the pedal to the metal.
No, there's
This
nothing
is
wrong
putting the
with that. But
plastic to the
I was
plastic,
mentioning
bro.
to Herman,
You
I
know
was
what?
mentioning to Herman that if that thing travels at the speed that this video was showing right here,
Hmm.
um, all I can say is there's gonna be a lot of people returning their video. This is not slow. When I first got my first drone, it moved about this fast. Now, why isn't it going? Let's try it again. There we go.
So roughly 30 mile an hour top end speed in normal mode, upwards of 60 miles an hour in sport mode. And you get about 20 minutes worth of flight time. But remember, that's at about 24 miles an hour with no wind at a
Put it in
steady, like I
sports
said, at a
mode and
steady
let it go.
24 miles. What's that?
Put it in sports mode. Let it go.
What is it? What else is it for, man? What else
Is
is
it
it for?
no, it's not a speaker. I'm honestly thinking that that has to do with the minute head tracking. It just like if you look into a screen, you can look up in the upper right hand corner, upper left hand corner, etc., while you're flying FPV to look at your telemetry. I'm assuming that will give you the option to just kind of still look forward, but look up in that direction. That's the only thing that I could think it's for.
What, the little stick thingy?
Right. As long as you're not moving it, it's dead center. But if you move up and to the right, it may crop the picture up and to the right some. I'm that's only speculation. Seriously.
I
I
honestly think the controls you're seeing are to manipulate the menu that you're seeing inside your goggles and to cycle through those menu
but then
selections so that you can make your
that's I
choices.
was thinking that's what the small button was on the side.
What,
This
We'll have to
record
see
button?
right now. Now, my hope would be that they release it
The one
with
that said
as a
lock?
package deal. Because remember, when they released the smart controller, you could get the smart controller
Record
at a
button?
much lower
Lock?
price, right?
Yeah.
When it was bundled. Okay. You know, it would be great to see them come out with this ready to go in a bundle.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of nickel and diming you afterwards, like, okay, buy this. And oh, and by the way, 3 months later now, we just
Oh, no,
released this and you got to spend
no, you're going to
I
get
don't know.
nickel
I'm
and
gonna
dime.
think this is gonna be several $100.
No, you're going to get nickel and dime.
Yeah,
That
this
thing
is gonna
flies
be
FPV the way they want. I can
You're,
tell you that controller is
you're going to
probably
get
going to be
nickel
about
and dime.
$300-400. If it flies FPV the way it's
well,
supposed
it's got
You
to
to,
know
have an
what?
the
IMU. It's got
gyro,
to
Have
the
have a
gyro,
you,
gyro in it.
that's an expensive
what
gyroscope
is,
It's
system
got to
to
have an
get a
Lord,
accelerometer
movement
in it.
like that.
what's that new, those new VR goggles that came out? Don't they have a little hand joints similar to that?
Well, I know the Oculus
Yeah, the Oculus.
that
Yeah,
your
that's what I'm
phone
talking
fits in. The
about.
Oculus takes your
They
phone or
have
certain
the
size phone. They do have wireless controllers now to put your Oculus on, and those have gyroscopes in them. If you remember, the first company that started doing it was Nintendo with the Wii. Remember, you could stand up and
Mhm.
bowl. They wanted you to be interactive to play
I
baseball with
got guns
Yeah,
and
the
that.
bits
base.
and
Come
all
on, we
kinds of.
got the base.
You
We
know
got
how
the
many
tennis
people got
racket.
hurt with that damn thing? How many TVs got
How
broken?
many TVs? TVs got yeah,
People throwing stuff,
Now I see a
losing the
series.
strap.
TVs and table lamps.
And
Yeah.
they put a wrist strap on everything and thought that
Yeah,
that would
that really
solve the
helped, huh?
problem. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, those were for the people who didn't put a wrist.
Well, you know what it was? It
thing.
was pretty funny. My wife would get up and she'd be swinging away, right? I'd be sitting there going with the
I did
flick of
it
the
on the
wrist.
couch too, Tom. My daughter was
Okay.
like this in the
And
living
she would
room.
get so mad.
Tom, I
Okay.
used to play paddleball. Remember back in the day, New York handball and paddleball? I used to play paddleball professionally. So while my daughter was up, like, it's not fair, I was doing just like that. And to serve, all you had to do was go extra fast, and it would be a power serve over the net, playing tennis. I do
Matt,
remember, yes.
you have
They
how
were the
many
first
kids,
to
Matt?
use those type of
What happened?
gyroscopes, Corey Mano.
Matt's got 4 girls and a 13-year-old son. Dude, you got to lighten up there a little. 13, 11, 10, 7, and 1. Oh, boy.
Oh,
You got to have some energy, dude.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You
this
better be
is true.
young. You better be young.
You
That's
need,
all I'm
you
saying.
need more than one video console.
That's true too. More than one. Or everyone's got their own tablets.
Yeah. Yeah. Please. You gotta have some FiOS, Verizon FiOS service in that house.
Yeah, something.
Okay.
Because they'll put it on lean. So
They're
you
buying
guys,
the biggest package they have for kids. If
Mhm.
not, I'll order Fly More on DJI's website.
Well,
He
guys,
says he's
you ever heard
37.
of
He is young,
drone
Tom.
soccer?
God bless you, man.
Yes.
Okay. Good.
Yes.
Good.
Do you still have all your
Good.
hair?
You'll have a whole brood there to wipe the dribble off
Do
your
you
chin
still
when
have
you're
all
older.
your hair? That's what
Okay.
I want to know. Hey, what's up? Good morning, Rob. Feet on the ground. Morning in
I
Australia.
still got a lot of hair too. It just that doesn't happen to be on the top of my head.
Okay.
Grows everywhere else.
That's the places where you need to shave it from. Where it starts
Fortunately,
growing
man.
out the ear and behind the ear and stuff like that.
Yeah,
But have you
from the
guys ever
eyebrows,
heard
the
of
nose,
drone
the
soccer,
ears.
Tom? Lawrence?
Drone soccer.
Drone
Yes.
I can only imagine, Herman.
soccer.
Well,
Well, drone soccer might be the best way yet to get kids into drones. Well, it's a thing, and it's not just a sport that could be featured on ESPN 8, like dodgeball. You know what I'm saying?
go
It's
ahead,
new-
Herman. I'm going to
it's a
show
new
it now.
innovative way to inspire the youth and young at heart about STEM. To be more specific, computer science and aerospace engineering. You know,
This is
through
drone soccer.
thrilling team competition. Now, there's a gentleman named Kyle Sanders, who happens to be the vice president of education and development. He's developing this with the youth in the schools and getting them into this drone soccer. Now, this is what it looks like because it's actually played on the international level,
Yeah.
you know, and the kids in the school, they actually play it on a smaller level with, you see that little ball? That little ball is a cage that's around the drone. They play it
Yeah.
in a situation that's half that size.
Yeah.
And what it is, it's a cage net similar to like you ever see like the little
Harry
drone
Potter.
joint they have at the at B&H when you can test the drones out at B&H.
Yeah. It's in a cage.
It's a little netted cage similar to that, and it's 10 feet by 20 feet. And when they do it in there, they play it at a 3-on-3, but on the international level, which this is actually teams all over the country play this. I mean, not over the country, but all over the world. And it's played at 5-on-5. And
Hey, El Smeghead, how are you?
each team has a designated scorer, and the rest of the players on the team have to bump the other drones out of the way so as that to make clearance for this drone to be able to
To
score.
get through. Yeah.
Now,
Yes.
the beauty of this thing is that not only do the kids learn, well, they get to, you know, play this thing, and then they can actually get to play on teams internationally, but they're learning how to build their own drone, how to fix this drone on the fly, because
Right.
in these games, the drones, they get damaged. And they have to be able to put them, you know, back together.
Otherwise they're a drone down. Yeah.
Right, exactly. So, you know, they're learning beta flight. They're flying a system that's set up about $180 for that drone in the little ball.
Yes. And I thought it was interesting that they were actually
What's up,
using
Michael?
beta flight, which shows you can beta flight. For those of you who don't know, FPV pilots use it. Some of us love it, some of us hate it. But beta flight itself is the platform for teaching someone how to fly, whether it be a fixed wing or a drone. It works on all of those platforms. So
Now-
I go ahead, Herm.
Well, this gentleman that's running the program here, Mr. Sanders, Kyle Sanders, he's a graduate of the Air Force Academy, and he's a combat veteran and a former flight pilot instructor. So,
CFI,
I mean, the guy has got some credentials, and this is something that we've always talked about. You know,
Do you know what I like
inspiring the
about
youth.
this, Herman? is that other aspect of it that comes into play here, and that's the teamwork, right? You
Yes.
being a coach, I used to coach hockey. You know what that means, and you know how that really builds character with these kids too, is their ability to fit in and support each other. So, hey, hats off. That was
And it all intertwines from the STEM program, teaching
yeah,
them
sure.
coding, from teaching them coding to teaching them the actual physics.
Well, look at what
Wow.
goes in. Look at what goes into this technology. How many different people need to be involved? How many different verticals need to be involved, from the programming side to the mechanical engineering to the
Okay, Welsh
electrical
Rob, have a
engineering.
good
So
evening.
all those things come
Right,
together, and that's that teamwork, right? So fostering that teamwork at that level,
Yes.
and when these kids grow up to be engineers and data scientists and all that, they know they fit in, and they're feeding a bigger animal at the end of the day.
Right, because
Kudos, good job.
this is where we talk about building drones in America. This is probably where that next drone could come from. One of these kids,
Yeah, yeah.
even a
The fact
software
that
program, anything.
the fact that they've taken,
Well, Schwab, have a good night, man.
yes, have a
problem
good
if you
night,
gotta
Welsh
bounce.
Rob. The fact that they've
Right.
taken a game that you've seen on TV, because they compare it to Quidditch. If you've seen
Yeah,
Harry
well,
Potter, them flying around on a
I mean,
broomstick.
one of those kids that probably didn't watch that, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah. What are the
now
odds?
they get to realize it, right?
hmm
Movie magic now turns into reality.
Yeah. Well, how many times have we seen that?
Yeah.
From
I'd-
James Bond with the
I'd actually
jetpack.
like to check this out.
Yeah. But Herman, I think this looks like something we might promote during the summer months. We got a nice spot at Calvert Box to do
True.
that, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
drone soccer.
Hey, quadcopters
Why
and quadcopters in tech. If those of you don't know, that's ABQ.
Okay.
Recently changed
Hey,
his name. Hey, how are you? Welcome.
how you doing this evening?
Give me a second. I have to step away.
But yeah, that was very interesting. And we always talk about, how we need to increase this in the country.
This is the link
Yeah.
if you want to watch
Yeah.
how the
This
game is
something,
played.
and someone is doing it. There was a few videos, and actually, there's a live stream on YouTube with this gentleman, Kyle Sanders, where he's talking with the lady that interviewed him, and he talks more extensively about the program and what they're doing, and some of the kids even getting to play on other teams internationally.
Oh, that's great.
So check
Travel
it out,
teams.
because they got teams. Other countries are into this too.
Yeah, cool.
So it's a big thing, and the kids get to learn, and who knows?
Learn,
This
contribute,
sky's the limit.
participate.
Right. You're working on your own drone. You're fixing the parameters and everything in beta flight and doing what you got to do to get this thing up and going, and you're repairing it on the go, on the fly, in intermission when these drones get damaged. So that this
Yeah, sure. Like
when
a
I
pit
saw this,
crew.
I had to bring this up because this was a beautiful story. Like we
Yeah,
all
good story.
where is it going to come from? This is where it's going to come from. Stuff like this.
Yeah.
We talked about the colleges that have gotten grants for programs, and given
You got to have the
degree
talent to
program.
spend that money. Okay,
And,
you
and
get.
this is where your next college
Yep.
kid is going to come from.
Yep, absolutely, absolutely.
How well you do will dictate how much money you get the following year.
Well, the thing is with these college programs, the colleges just got to graduate students.
Mm-hmm.
Well, again, you have to graduate students that get some placement someplace. Otherwise, your reputation goes down.
Right.
So you gotta produce the best. I mean, when it comes to these engineering schools, you got to produce the best crop you can each and every time. This is our future. You're right, Herman. This is our future.
Yes, it is.
That's why it makes sense to invest in them.
Listen, teach them every little thing you
Yeah.
can. A topic that a lot of people don't talk about is nanotechnology. And they're introducing high schools in New York. We did a story on it
Greshel,
a
have a good
while
night,
back.
man.
We did a story. Good night, show. Have a good one.
Good night. Good night. Thanks for stopping
They
in.
actually are starting to introduce nanotechnology into the science departments at some high schools in New York here. And I think that's very, very good things, considering a good topic and something that should be taught, because as we know, everything is getting smaller. This is a handheld calculator. How big were calculators back then when we were going to school?
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Well, if you remember, I was telling you when I was in school, Lawrence, that I the art class that I took, and we were in college, and the instructor, the professor, teacher, whatever you want to call, he showed us art that
Hey,
children
Baba.
like in China and stuff like that are doing.
Yeah.
And you're talking about grade school kids doing some. They're doing images on paper that have that show depth, that 3D images that out of little pieces of confetti, tiny little pieces of confetti glued together. They're making images out of this, and it
Yeah.
comes off the paper. So you're talking about learning how to work with things that are small, and we talk about STEM program. You start children from that small and how to do certain things, and you'd be surprised where their mind will take them.
Yeah, this is true.
You know, there's just, you know, you talk about this all the time. There's a kid, you can't put a drill in his hand today because he'll kill himself. But
True.
when I was a kid,
True.
that was a prerequisite to be my father's kid. You had to learn how to use
Dude,
that drill.
if you put a metal file in someone's hand, they wouldn't know what to do with it. Yeah.
Come on, dude. We
Kids.
made a lot of our toys. Okay, please. Old pair of skates, the fruit crate from the market,
Oh, for the go-karts.
and a piece of lumber.
And 2
You
by
were
4
drilling,
with a rope.
sawing,
With a rope
cutting.
for steering. And if you
Okay.
didn't have the rope, you use your feet like this.
and as long as you didn't completely cut off your finger, your mother
You
would
were
only
back
cry
out
for
there
a
the
few
next day,
minutes.
Tom.
Yeah.
You were back out the next day.
Oh, you're back out that afternoon, please. Okay. And you wore the bandage like a badge of courage, right?
I remember we were playing tag.
Now you get tunnel carpal syndrome. Okay, that's what happens now.
Yeah. The
It
trigger finger.
happens. It happens when flying a drone. All of a sudden, you're doing this nice little orbit manually. You're moving both sticks, and all of a sudden, your finger decides to, you know, in the middle. It's happened a few times to me. Trust me. They call it the carpal tunnel moment.
You know what you do, Lawrence?
Huh?
Take with that finger and lean with the other one.
I had a friend. It was so funny. I had a friend, and we were out shooting, and he turned around. He showed somebody the footage, and the guy turned around, was a real smartass, turned around and said, "Oh, it looks kind of shaky to me." He goes, "Yeah, that's my Parkinson's. Thank you."
Well, think about it. In school, you got cut. You went to the nurse. She patched you up. You went back to class. I was telling Herman a few days ago, or maybe it was a week ago. I remember playing basketball and spraining my finger and finishing off the day, or at that time, playing basketball and then coming out and doing something else. The next day it would hurt like hell, but you kept playing. Now,
You didn't even remember how it happened.
exactly. Hey, what's up, FPV Joe?
we were playing inline travel hockey,
Okay.
and I took a hit along the boards and dislocated my shoulder. We were playing 4-on-4 and roll up in Ontario, and my teammate came over, my line mate came over and got my shoulder back in place by slamming me back into the boards, and we had to finish the game. So I remember as a kid at 7 years old taking a spill off my bike and having the biggest piece of road rash going from this side to this side. And the next day was my Holy Communion. Okay.
Oh,
in
wow.
my communion suit. So my mother said, well, she said to me was, all the pictures have to be this way. Okay. So different.
You listen, you did what you had to do, right?
Didn't sue the bike manufacturer, didn't sue the factory in front of the place where
Was it their fault if you were going that fast?
The fault was I was 7. Okay. And at 7, there are no risks that aren't worth taking, right? I mean, come on.
Right. But I'm saying,
Yeah.
wasn't their fault you were going that fast?
Yeah, I think there was a couple of bricks and a 2x4 involved, and I was trying to see how much air I could get. Okay, so
Yeah. Yeah. I remember jumping ramps with bicycles.
yeah,
Mm-mm. Oh yeah, we did that. But we also had when I lived over on over in Crown Heights, we had this one hill, Dearborn Court. Almost no cars went up that street. And some fool thought it would be a good idea. Maybe we could set up a ramp on the hill coming down. Do you know how much speed you get coming into the main street coming out that ramp?
you know the funniest thing is once you get that death wobble, you know it ain't going good. Okay,
That's that.
you know it's not going good.
She's going down. She's going down.
You get that. It's over, man. No matter what you do, you're not recovering. Okay.
Listen, I've done it before. And it's the death wobble, because once you make the jump, if you don't stick it right, the handlebars go like this, and then it's gone.
It's just also right, Herman. When you get that, when you go past that threshold of speed, that threshold of speed is the speed you can handle and the speed that's going to hurt you.
Yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
And it's just like going through the sound barrier.
Well,
Okay. When you get that sound barrier, you get that right.
Tom,
Well, this is you go from the speed I can handle to the speed I can't handle. You know it's over.
well, I got one for you, Tom.
I could,
Come-
Herman, let you get to the next story really quick after this. But one of the main reasons I have a goatee is because while jumping ramps with a bicycle when I was younger, I jumped and I landed on my chin and slid about 3 feet on my chin. And I went upstairs, no lie, with my finger like this. My mother said, let me see. And when I pulled my finger down, because the blood had dried, it came down like my lip. So I could literally take my finger and touch my chin bone.
Did they stick?
That's how much of a chunk it was. And my mother cleaned me up and she said, okay, we're going to the hospital. You need stitches. So I went inside, changed the bloody shirt and everything. And when I came out, I said, Ma, we don't have to go to the hospital. She's like, why? I said, it stopped bleeding. She said, how'd you get to do that? I said, I just held it in place. And I never got stitches for it either. So there's a scar here. There's a lifetime scar.
Remember the hill I was telling
You
you?
soft kids.
What's up,
Well,
Josh?
Coming into the main street, if you can't clear it, you got to make that turn. So one day, I had a bright idea to do this.
Hey, drone shots.
I still say to kids today, even if they did these things, they would have it easier. Well, I got to that spot where you just can't stop with those skates. But that Caprice Classic, you remember the old Caprice Classics, Tom?
Uh-huh.
Big monsters, bro.
Yeah, I hit that thing,
Yeah.
went across the hood onto the sidewalk. Instant asthma attack.
Yep.
JSK, how are you? Where is it? I
But
saw
you
his-
get up and you
somewhere.
live to do it all over again.
That's what being a kid's about, bro.
Because we were made out of what that stuff they made Gumby out
We,
of.
No, seriously, Tom, my mother said, we have to go to the doctor. I said, Ma, there's no reason. I said, see, I said, now in the morning, if it's hanging, we'll go and I'll get the stitches. But I
Yeah.
held my finger like this and the blood dried and we never went to the hospital. And I was like, Ma, trust me, it's okay. She's like, but you could touch your chin bone.
Yeah.
I didn't want to go to the hospital, but the kids I was
Gonna give
really
you a
more
shot.
scared. I was
Give you
really
a
more
shot.
scared of the shot I was going to
yeah,
get
the tetanus
and the
shot.
stitches.
So
Seriously.
DC, who's it? Babio W said, "Do you think NASA drone going to fly on Mars?" So I'll give you a
Yes,
straight answer for that.
definitely.
Okay. Why can the drone fly on Mars, but we can't get power in Texas? Very simply, because the drone is being flown by scientists and the power situation in Texas is being managed by politicians.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I'm pretty sure the drone will fly.
The drone will fly. And also, I found this out, and this
Only
was on
took
the
it up
news
there to
today.
fly it.
I found out on the news that they said the Texas power grid was hours away from completely shutting down.
Yeah, but
The
don't worry, it was
entire
because
state.
of the wind turbines, which only account for 10%. Okay, but that's a different issue. Oh, by the way, did you see that the rover already found life? Alf wanted to know if they brought any cats with them. Okay, so but you got to be old to get that one, right?
Yeah,
You know
yeah,
what?
this is true.
You know what? That was a funny little show. Alf.
Come on, Alf had it going on, man. He
That
was a
was
he could be
those
as
are good
irreverent
times.
as he wanted to be.
Those are good times, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
Love you guys talk about the FAA looking at people to train recreational remote pilots.
Yeah, well, it's going to
Oh, have
happen
we?
because it happens elsewhere. Why do we
There are,
think
Right.
it won't
there are
happen here?
it's a
There are
large
companies
market.
that are doing it.
It's a large market, Robert. Yes, we did a story in a company in the UK that would train you to be an international drone pilot.
Well,
So
But you know, look, you got
well,
Drone
look
U,
at
you got all these places. But
right, Drone,
really,
you
what
and all of them do it.
you know what this is coming down to is this is just basically a safety exam.
Mhm.
Okay. This is first and
Mhm.
foremost, the FAA would rather you be safe than to chase you down and fine you. I got to be completely honest with you. Okay.
I
The
agree.
lion's share of their work is to educate. Educate. Okay. The enforcement aspect has to be done because of non-compliance in areas, but that's not their forte. Their forte is to ensure safety and to make sure people are trained and have the information. So I see a recreational exam as being a requirement going forward, and it doesn't have to be that hard to take. It's here you go, open book right here. It's like, but at least at that point, you can't claim ignorance. And that's the thing that hurts us right now is the ignorance factor. So I think look, it happens in Canada, it happens over in Europe. It's going to be happening in more and more places. And I don't think it's a heavy lift. And I don't think you need to pay for training to take that exam.
I don't feel you should have to either.
I think the FAA will provide you all the materials necessary. Plus, there'll be dozens and dozens of YouTube videos. Just be careful when you watch the YouTube videos. Make sure it's from somebody reputable that's giving you
Yeah,
reliable
agreed.
information. Okay.
I agree with that. But
True.
I wish, and I really wish that I could see, I would be old enough to see where this drone tech really goes, because we'll be probably senile old men babbling to ourselves while stuff is flying over us, not giving a damn about it. But to be honest, someone said, Drone U. I guess he doesn't like Drone U.
Who?
But
Well,
hey,
wasn't
Johnny
making
Phone, how
comments
are you?
about Drone U. I have my own strong feelings about Paul and Drone U, but that's a different situation. So we won't go there.
Oh,
Wait till I retire, then I'll give you some good dirt.
Okay. Okay, interesting. I would like to hear that. It sounds like we need to break bread before we leave town, Tom.
You know what's happening, dude. So don't worry about it. We'll get there.
Yes,
get there.
you know
definitely.
what?
We need to have
do a
those
couple of
guys
things.
breaking bread.
And just remember that
Meet up.
you better make preparations for that meetup I'm going to have out there. Okay.
Okay,
All right. All right.
no problem.
Listen, I need an excuse to go visit the other side of the country.
Dude, the only problem is you might not
I've
want to
never
come
been
back.
there.
Okay.
Herman has. Herman's
How-
been on the West Coast, but I've never been on the West Coast. I've been as far as Florida, Pensacola, Florida. That's how far west I've gone, and I've been up and down the East Coast, just never
It's a
West
big
Coast.
country, man.
But how far are you from the actual strip in Las Vegas?
I would say altogether I'm probably 12 miles. So, but it's a 12 miles that would take me 10 minutes to transverse, not
Right.
12 miles in New York City that takes me 45 minutes to an hour to cover.
Yeah.
Okay. So, where we are is we're in a like planned community and all. And when we come out on this Eastern Avenue,
Mhm.
and that goes up to the highway 215. So they got a beltway around Vegas. Interstate 15 goes from Salt Lake City to LA,
Okay.
and Vegas is smack dab in the middle. And these beltways 215, okay, is south and west and then 515 comes around the north and east. And so it's just a few minute drive up this Eastern Avenue. But on Eastern Avenue, every big box store, every restaurant you could imagine, close your eyes and picture, is on this strip. And then jump on 215, 3 exits, and we're at Las Vegas Strip, right where the sign is, "Welcome to Las Vegas." Okay. So, down by the Mandalay Bay there is where the highway cuts in.
I know exactly what you're talking about. So,
and then over there, you have a beautiful town square shopping area. And then just over to the side is the Las Vegas Outlet Mall. So again,
I
more
thought you were going to
reasons.
say the Bunny Ranch.
No, more reasons my wife loves the place. No, you can't have no prostitution in Clark County, Nevada.
That's in Carson City, Lawrence.
No, you have to go up to Nye County, and that's where Pahrump is, and that's where the Bunny Ranch is, and all those other places. You can buy fireworks. You can. Plus, it's both medicinal and recreational out there. It's. And think of it as the adult Disney World. Okay.
Exactly. That's exactly what I call it.
But you know what? You look.
An adult Disney World.
We don't spend hardly any time on the strip. We have local resort casinos that are over the top, beautiful places right by us, cater to the locals.
Although there's some shows in the casinos,
but the shows, the concerts, if you want,
after 2 a.m.
I'm a New Yorker, and I do like the idea that the city never sleeps, but that city doesn't sleep. No. Okay.
There's some shows in the casino after 2 o'clock in the morning.
Roadkill.
Yeah, but you know what? There's a lot of free shows besides the higher end shows and all that other stuff. All casinos have floor shows and stuff like that. But there's so much more to do. You think about it. One thing I always love to do when I go out there is find something different. And one thing they have out there is called the Big Dig. The Big Dig is basically where you go and they train you how to drive a backhoe and a front loader. And then we're talking about soccer. Then you can play bulldozer soccer. Okay.
Oh, get out of here.
And then they have competitions who can dig the biggest trench the quickest, or who can move the most truck tires. So it's an adventure land. It really is.
Be able to flip a quarter over with a forklift blade.
Yeah, that's what. So think about this: 20 times the size, right?
Yeah.
And the equipment's from Yamato and Caterpillar, and you're talking about some big rigs. And then, of course, if you want to drive a luxury car, if you want to learn how to drive a race car, shoot an M247 squad assault weapon. If you want to fire an M50 out of a UH-1 UE helicopter over the desert.
What's up, Jackson?
It's out there.
What's up, Chris?
It's out there.
Yo, that was fun though. Shooting those submachine guns and all that stuff out there.
That can get rather expensive, and that's what they're hoping for. You go in there, you shoot your load like $200 within a matter of 5 to 8 minutes, and you come out satisfied. Okay, so they got a good gig going there.
Because some of the targets and stuff that they have.
Oh, they had Osama bin Laden.
Yeah, they designed for you to want to just
tear it up.
That's the catch for it. Huh?
Tear it up.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can, the thing is funny. You can take home your target, but you can't take home any of the shell casings.
Negative. Yeah.
Not unless you want that dog humping your bag at the airport.
Wash those hands, man. Get the gunite off. That's right. What's up, Jackson? I'll see how are you.
I agree with Tom. Ignorance isn't the excuse for breaking the law.
No, it never is. It never is. And it takes what? It takes a whole few minutes to figure it out, to do the right thing. So, but hey, see the thing out there, a lot of people don't get off the strip and they don't realize how beautiful it is out there. Right.
Other stuff. Yeah.
Well, you got Red Rock Canyon, you got Mount Charleston, you got Ash Meadows, which is an oasis in the middle of the Mojave. You got the Mojave Desert, you got the Joshua Tree, the National Forest. Then short drive up to southern Utah, right there. It's right there.
What's
Is
up, Ray?
Zion National
What's up,
Park.
fellas?
Okay.
Well, you know
What's
what?
up, Raymond?
That you mentioned
What's
that
up,
when I went out there, I've gone
Yeah.
out there. I've gone out there a few times with other people, and I've gone out there by myself for different things. I was out there for my birthday.
All right, El Smeghead, thanks for coming in,
And,
brother. We appreciate you.
Thanks.
I've never ever rented a car when out there. I mean, I've taken,
Oh,
like
man,
I've
dude,
gotten a
that's what you
cab to
gotta
go
do.
to different places.
Yeah.
But I've gone off the strip, yes, because there were other things to see at other places, but I've
Right.
always taken it because I'm on vacation mode. I'm just going.
You know what? Let me tell you something, Herman.
Money to spend, and I just
the best time to rent a car is out there when you're on vacation, because if you've ever driven the roads out there, you go out, you start to head out on 160 and go up to Red Rock Canyon. You take those drives. They're just so damn relaxing, dude.
Mhm.
Okay, those kinds of drives, because you got no traffic. The roads are beautiful,
the traffic.
and the landscape around you is freaking stunning. That to me is relaxation. Okay, there are no horns blaring. There's no bumper to bumper.
Mhm.
Okay, and when you do get to a road where more than one car, the only problem we have as New Yorkers is everybody's so damn courteous out there. Okay, they're all waving each other on, and meanwhile nobody's going. Okay, but it's a different world, man. I honestly, it takes me a couple of days before I start to wind down a little and get in a different headspace.
Mhm.
But yeah, I tell you, man.
You mean come back to reality?
And the other thing is, you can go to a place out there like one of the rental car companies, Sixt, SIXT.
Mhm.
They're pretty good as far as pricing, and they rent 4x4s.
I've seen
Okay, they rent pickup trucks.
Lawrence,
you
you
can
got to go out there and rent the Lambo.
you
Get outta
well
here.
you
Gotta
can
put
do
the
that,
drones in your
man,
lap,
but just realize what that Lambo cost you for the 1 hour you get to drive it up and down the strip. Okay.
You
Get
can put
outta
the
here.
drones in your lap, Lawrence, but we're gonna have that.
No, the best thing is to go out of town, all the way south on the strip, all the way as far down as you can go on the strip, is one of a great place to go race car driving and drifting and stuff like that. Then there's another big one in Pahrump, and of course there's the one up by the Las Vegas Speedway, but that's more of a tourist trap. But what you should do is turn around and you go out there and say, hey, can I active track the car?
Mhm.
You got to work it out with your co-driver, whoever's staff riding with you. Okay. Because they want your attention on the $250,000 car, not you futzing worrying about whether you're in the shop for your drone,
Welcome back, Ray.
So I drove the Gallardo, Lamborghini Gallardo out there.
Right.
Extremely uncomfortable.
Was that IKEA you just passed? Looked like you're on your way home.
Mm-hmm. He's out there on his way home.
Yeah, he's in the name.
Okay.
But yeah, that's I'll take a NASCAR. I'll take Mustang, a Shelby. Oh, Shelby's out there too, by the way. Go to the Shelby factory, right off the strip there. That's another spot.
I just like to experience some of that stuff on the West Coast that you're not used to seeing here on the East Coast. It's
like blue skies constantly.
Yeah.
Okay.
I wouldn't know how to act.
The only time you get clouds is in the early morning, because once the sun is up, they burn right off, man.
Right.
And that's the other thing is
they're usually around the mountains, right?
12% humidity, man.
Everybody has things that they take for granted. When I was out there, I met this one young lady, and she said to me, she goes, how does it feel to live so close to the ocean? She goes, I've never seen the ocean before. She's never left Nevada.
Yeah, well,
never left the ocean.
You got people who've never left these 5 boroughs, man.
Right.
I was telling Herman.
Granted.
Yeah.
I was telling Herman that there are people out here in my town that have never left, or
Well,
they leave
the
as little as possible. My mother leaves out here twice a year,
Mhm.
every six
look,
months.
you know what's
But there
you
are
know what's
people who would
really
take that ocean by you, Lawrence, and would love that.
I know, I
well, you
know.
got Lake Mead and all, but not the same. I know, but I like if you can go RVing in Lake Mead area and then you shoot up the north side towards Valley of Fire, uh, just unbelievable. And then those skies, those sunrises and sunsets are just freaking amazing. The
Yes,
blacks
it
and the
is, Brandon.
purples and the oranges, and then the blue starts to shine. Just colors. And you look at photos and go, oh, he oversaturated the photo. Yeah, no, I didn't.
You see what Jackson RC put? You guys are not that far from Dover, Delaware Speedway. Come
Yeah,
down for a NASCAR race.
yeah, that's a spot to go down to.
You see,
Yeah.
I've never seen NASCAR. I've
Well,
always
the
liked
other
it.
thing is Watkins Glen. What's to go up to New York State, man? Watkins Glen,
I used
one
to
of the
go
best
out
road
to
track
English Town
courses
all
in
the time.
NASCAR. Yeah,
I used to go out to English Town all the time to watch the
yeah.
drag
Oh,
race.
to the Speedway.
Yeah,
Yeah, to the
I
Speedway.
would.
Yeah,
Well, back then I had you know, ooh, I had a Volkswagen GTI that was worked to it. It used to spit out the tailpipe, and I had it worked, and I ride out there with a bunch of guys and come back. But going out there was fun. Driving out there, a bunch of guys following behind each other on the highway, in and out of cars going up the
yeah.
turnpike.
Well, I'll tell you, man. If
We-
you want to fly FPV, you fly FPV through those valleys out there. You fly FPV out in that desert, man. Throw you just sheer open land and you know amazing stuff. Uh, we talked way back, right, about the those those dirt devils
Mhm.
that would spin
Mhm.
up, and the guy who was photographing that stuff for Nat
Yeah, yeah,
Geo, and
yeah. Hadley
you know,
was the
yeah, and
sandstorm.
so uh, it's just a blast out there,
And he
and
built a drone specifically to handle the
yeah,
wind,
to handle that,
to
sure,
handle the
sure,
winds, which it
yeah,
had to
I'm
be
looking.
solid enough
All right.
to not get blown around.
I'm hoping, with the release on the second and the immediate sale and how quickly they deliver, and my DJI Select membership better come in handy here.
Well,
Okay.
you know what, Tom?
Of
Gotta
getting
get
that FPV drone in time because I'm headed out and because I'm working remotely right now. We talked it over and we're going to work out there remotely for about 6 to 8 weeks.
Okay.
Okay.
So I can take care of some stuff, and we're prepping for the last hurrah basically, to get out there and retire.
So do you have a guesstimate time frame?
By the end of the calendar year, well, we want to be out there probably 3 to 6 months this
Because I was
year,
telling
and then
Herman, I
full
was like,
time next
I
year.
bet he's waiting for it to get warm to get that RV, and his ass is out.
Well, it's more so, we got a lot of stuff still going on the job and all, and I kind of made a commitment that I would
All right,
stay
later.
through getting my people back on site, and so that's why I'm saying it's probably more likely. Well, this year is it, man. This year is it. I can't earn any more towards my pension, so
Okay.
then I'm starting to be upside down on what my take home would be. Uh, you know, but I made a commitment, so I'm going to stick through it for that.
All right.
Okay.
That's probably the summertime.
Listen,
So,
Well,
I would like to leave New York. My problem is every time that I've left, I've come back. And it's not because, well, a couple of times
a
was
lot of
because I
people
had
did.
to. A couple of times it was because I had to. I'll be honest about that. But the times that I did leave, to hell with New York. I mean, when you go to someone's house and they hear you're coming to visit, my very first time I went to South Carolina, my first time outside of New York, and the place where we were staying was an elderly couple. My uncle went down with his girlfriend and invited me. And the lady, the girlfriend's mom, knew that I liked strawberry shortcake. and she made me like this. She made this like 3-layer strawberry shortcake, and she took a big wedge out of it. And I'm like, wow, that's a nice size for me. And she says, no, that's for me. Take the cake. And I was like, because I had never experienced anything like that.
Look, hospitality takes on a whole new
Yes.
meaning.
Hey, Jeannie's Joint, welcome.
You know what it is?
Wednesday night.
It's not that it doesn't exist here. It's just that the pace is too fast that you don't always notice it, right? And there are plenty of courteous people here in the
Yes.
city. We're not the big bad wolf over
It's
here,
just that everything.
but you know what it is?
It's
a completely different mindset. It's a different pace. It's
chocolate mint.
And I want that different pace, and I want the ability. You see, what we're looking to do, we were like, okay, we're going to keep something here because I got family here, I got grandkids here and all.
Right.
Okay. But we were like, okay, we're going to keep a piece of property here. Then there's property taxes, there's upkeep, there's all this other stuff. And then it's just sitting here vacant. And I don't want to do that. But,
No, I hear you.
I don't want somebody else living in it.
You can make
right?
the investment outside of the United States. I mean,
Well,
outside of New York, and still.
Yeah.
comfortably.
So my daughter's family actually has a seasonal campground that they have a beautiful travel trailer on upstate, and they can occupy it from April through, the middle of April through the end of October. And it was great this past year for them because it gave them some release from everything that was going on to just get out in the woods in this, on this campground. But when I found out they were only paying a couple of grand, and actually the travel trailer sits there all year long. They don't make you move it. They secure it there. And I thought, hey, wait, I'll go pick up a second travel trailer and put it on the property upstate,
Right.
And then we'll come in, a couple of weeks in the spring, a couple of weeks in the summer, and a couple of weeks in the fall, because baby,
Eddie.
I ain't coming here in the winter.
What's up,
Hey, Eddie, what's up, bro? I'm not coming here in the winter. I'm hoping, okay, that I can go visit snow while I'm out there and get that fondness back for snow, because I've completely lost it. I don't want to see any more snow right now. Okay. We got our second shots last week, right? I was telling you. And then the next day is when you get the symptoms from the second shot. You get the fever, the body aches, the
Right.
body chills, right? And that's just when, at the height of those symptoms, is when we had to go outside and shovel because of that storm that came in last Thursday. And I'm like, forget it. I'm done with this, man.
It's funny. We talk about the snow, and I thought, I really didn't think we got that much snow this year. Some people might say it's a makeup for last year when we didn't get any. We got inches, like a 2 inches last year.
Yeah.
But for the kind of snow that we could have gotten, or we could get, for the amount of snow that I've seen drop in the Midwest when I was out there.
Oh, well, it's different, though. It's completely
not that bad.
Yeah, it's completely different. First of all, the places that know they get snow, the Minnesota, all that snow is plowed within no time whatsoever. People know to stay off the roads until the plows get through. Okay. We got people cutting plows off in this city.
Right.
Okay? So, I got to say, Department of Sanitation in New York City did one bang up job these couple of past snowstorms. They did a great job. They did a good job. You know what? And of course, they didn't get to pick up the garbage also, but there's something called the damn budget. Okay. So they got the snow done, and they just started picking up garbage again. So thank goodness for that.
They did.
The worst thing, you got all this garbage underneath the snow. It's disgusting. These streets are disgusting right now.
Well, that's the other thing, Ray, right?
You got dog shit under the snow. You stepping on snow, you got dog poop.
Ray, snow out in the Midwest looks like snow is meant to look. Snow here in New York is not what you bring somebody from the Midwest and say, look at our snow.
It isn't, Tom. It isn't, because I went to CVS today, and they have a mound in CVS parking lot because they shovel it all in one area, and the mound is like 3 stories tall, but it's all gray. The mound of snow is gray.
Yeah.
Well,
when it melts down, you got one big dust pile when it melts down.
That's right, man.
Yeah,
Yeah, and you got to hope they clean it up before it blows all over the neighborhood again,
that's
right?
Oh
true
man.
because
Oh,
that's true. That will happen.
Yeah.
we
Exactly.
got
Oh man,
we got another story
yeah,
here.
guys, Saab is in the news, man.
Saab.
Yeah, Saab wins a contract to lead the EU, the tech and avoid push. The Swedish company, the Swedish aerospace and defense company, has announced it will lead the EU's push to detect and avoid technology. It'll allow drones to fly alongside crewed aircraft safely. Now, Saab has currently has two drone aircrafts called the Saab Skildar V150 and the V200. Now, the 200 happens to have what a maximum speed of 87 miles per hour. Not too bad, but it's a fairly good sized bird. It's similar to when we talked about the camcopter, the camcopter 100. It's a fairly good sized bird, and like the one we mentioned last week.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it has a mission radius of up to was it 12 miles or something like that? No,
Right.
62 miles.
62 miles.
Oh,
62
okay.
miles. 62 miles and 55 the 55 horsepower motor on this bird. So in this video here that Lawrence is showing, they're showing the drone here, but it also they're talking about how it was tracking a vehicle. Now this thing has many different applications that they can do to this, but they're going to be leading the EU push for detect and avoid. And we've mentioned detect and avoid a few times, talking about where drones have to go, or where drones are going with this, with beyond and flying beyond the visual line of sight. But Saab was handed a $26 million grant to get started. So this is interesting where Saab's going to be helping the EU and with their detect and avoid. So like I said, everything's going now towards commercial drones in the sky. And a lot of people don't believe it'll happen, but everybody's
It's
spending a lot of
happening.
money.
It's not whether you believe it or not. It's just a fact.
Yeah,
It's happening.
true.
So think about
Spending
this.
a lot of money on this.
Why Saab? Well, Saab has a long history in aviation.
Oh yes.
Saab's made
exactly.
fighter
Before they made
jets.
cars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So since
Saab makes
and
engines for a
avoid
lot of those fighter jets.
SAA and detect and avoid DAA systems are really the backbone of how you're going to be able to integrate this technology so that these can wind up in that same ecosystem, in that same airspace. Now, remember, on the manned aviation side, this isn't new because you have TCAS systems, which is the traffic collision and avoidance systems, and ADSB, automatic dependent surveillance broadcast.
Mm-hmm.
So it's taking these DAA and SAA systems and integrating them so they can actually speak to those TCAS and ADSB systems.
Correct.
And that'll be the biggest lift right there, is to get them to talk to each other without causing any unnecessary traffic or any distraction on the manned aircraft side of the fence. Now, the problem I have is just always keep in mind, this technology is only as good as the reach it has, because when you're talking about manned aircraft versus unmanned aircraft, aircraft is usually operating at much, much slower speeds.
Mm-hmm.
So their ability to react and get out of the way quickly, is a question there when you have an aircraft approaching at maybe 180 to 350 knots, depending on altitude. So hopefully at lower altitudes that these unmanned aircraft are flying, you're talking about 200 mile an hour ceilings of speed on the manned aircraft side. But but still not a lot of time to get out of the way.
True. That's true. Well, I with all of these drones and this infrastructure that they're slowly building around us, it's going to be real interesting to see how things progress after the next 2 or 3 years. Because if you remember when they were talking about Lance, and they were talking about how we're going to tell you guys what altitude you can fly and all that, everybody was like, man, I'm not listening to them. And listen, we're listening to them. If you listen to them, if you want to fly, you
Well, you
know,
take off your shoes to fly, right? On a commercial
Exactly.
aircraft, right?
hey,
Now you
what's
can
up,
choose
Kurt?
not to, but you'll wind up on somebody's no-fly list.
Hey, what's up, man? Kurt. What's up?
But
Um,
you know, look, all these systems have to work hand in hand. It's the only way you're going to be able to have
So
that
it's slowly
unified
It's slowly
management
They're
system.
slowly integrating it
yeah.
in.
Everything's coming
It's just
together.
a fact of life. It's happening.
Right,
Coming
right.
together.
But I just laugh. I sit back and I laugh. And I mean, these people, oh, when DJI came out, I'm not going digital. Now they've sold every damn thing they got FPV and they're full digital.
Well, you know what's
You know.
funny? You remember you just said I'm not doing DJI. Speaking
Mhm.
about I'm not doing DJI, I know a guy who I'll never buy a DJI drone. Never would I buy a DJI. You know what, brother? If you're watching, I know it's a day late, but happy birthday.
Yeah, that's a glass for you, Herm. Jesus, you got a mug there, Herm?
Yeah, I gotta have my juice and something.
Man,
But
yeah.
it is true. I do recall a certain member of NYC 5 Borough saying they would never fly DJI. And now they swear by them. They're a rolling DJI commercial. So there's nothing wrong with that. Like the Borg say,
Gotta love it.
resistance is futile. You will be assimilated.
If you're a
Plain and simple.
fanboy, wear it proudly. What can I tell you?
Exactly. Say it again. Say it again.
If
You
you're
hear
a
that, guys out there?
fanboy,
I
wear it
know y'all listening
proudly.
to the show. They're fanboys.
Okay.
They're all fanboys too. They're all fanboys.
Eventually, there'll be a 12-step program for this too, Ray. Okay.
Yep, of course.
So
yes.
we'll be
Like I
sitting
said,
up.
we all fanboys.
Hi, my
We
name
all
is
fanboys.
You know,
Lawrence.
Ray, we'll be attending meetings with lots of coffee and donuts, and we'll each stand up and go, I'm Tom, and I'm addicted to DJI.
Exactly.
And then you're gonna go right outside
And then we're all going to get together and go fly outside.
And go fly. Yeah.
Right
exactly.
afterwards, right?
Exactly.
Talking about how we relapsed. I could imagine.
Oh,
They could
man.
imagine.
You know, instead of talking
That's
about how
not
we
flying
ruined,
drones
we
just
ruined
this morning.
relationships and scarred kids, we're going to talk about how we had a bad relationship with a tree in the park. Okay.
Mhm.
You know, that'll be our tales of terror.
Exactly. And it's funny you say that, Tom, because when I was learning how to fly FPV, there was a tree that I got stuck in for about an hour. And it so happened, you remember that storm, that cold storm we got where one side of the trees were red because they had all that salt on them and one side was green? Well, this tree got knocked down. And I usually feel bad when I see trees fall, but this particular tree, I was happy it was gone.
Okay.
Because it was the same tree that I got stuck in.
Dude, I was thinking about setting up a drone rescue service right in Flushing, RC, right by the fence line there, because there was a series of weeks there that it was like almost 3-4 times a week somebody was getting stuck in that tree. So I was going to go get a lasso, okay, and put up my M2P and start doing tree rescue work.
You'd probably make a killing if you knew. The same
You got to
thing in
prepay
Flushing.
though. You got to
You know
get
how
that
many
money up
drones
front.
Come at
Exactly.
Flushing, in
registration
Meadows,
fee.
Corona Park. You know how many drones get stuck up in those towers up there?
Yeah, absolutely.
They go inside, or they get stuck in it or on top of it. You know, and that could be kind of lucrative, especially there.
A hook and snatch. Hook and snatch.
Jeannie says, I never thought she'd have cameras in her house. Now she has 12 and wants more. Listen,
You know, the
Really
problem
wanna
is,
look and snatch with a drone.
you know what, Gene? The problem is who else is watching those cameras besides you, okay?
Mm.
IoT, Internet of
IoT.
Things.
That's
Those
right.
things are on the
Right.
internet. Okay, think of it that way. Those things are on the internet. So, that's what you got to worry about. Hey, Bob Casey, how are you, brother? You gotta
Guys, will stay away from all those cheap wireless cameras.
please. It doesn't matter whether they're cheap or not, man. Okay, you gotta actually.
IP or not,
How
it don't
many
matter,
people?
exactly.
How many people have a modem in their house that they've never changed the credentials on? So I pretty well guarantee that
Yeah.
the password is
Yep.
admin. Okay.
Yep.
So we think people are going
Number
to turn
one thing they
around
teach you in
and
internet
adjust the
security.
firewall settings on their security system. That's and this is what bothers me
It's
because
true,
these
Tom.
things
The
don't.
average password, the average
The average
router-
password is admin.
Yeah.
Or
Yep.
4 zeros.
It's admin. Usually.
When was the last time you had a unique password for a Bluetooth device? Okay.
Well, I do it because I know better.
They
But
put-
I've
Well,
always-
it's like anything else, okay?
Yeah,
Just a
one,
little
two,
bit of
three.
research will go a long way.
Listen,
And
if
now
you
it's
come-
not even hard to do.
Tom, if you come to my block
my
and you
thing is
park in
this.
front of my house and try and get free internet, you will see a network ID that says not your Wi-Fi. That's me.
I have one that's why bother.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So if you see not
And I
your
got
Wi-Fi,
one. Enter at your own risk.
Well, no, I have one
Enter at
that
your
says
own risk.
enter here. Okay. And it asks
Yeah,
you to register
exactly.
with your mother's
Yeah.
maiden name. Okay, I'll give you some broadband. Your mother's maiden
Yeah.
name,
I
your
tell you,
social
I keep the
security number,
broadband. Yeah.
and give me your routing,
Yeah,
the
all that.
routing number and the account number. No problem. There'll be recurring billing.
Just give me the account. No, Tom, just give me the account number. Because
Yeah.
every checkbook has the same routing number. Just give me the account number.
Yeah.
That's it.
yeah.
That's all I need.
It's
That's all
like
I
anything
need.
Opinions
else.
that
Account
heard
number.
tonight are not necessarily the views and opinions of everyone on the panel tonight.
Whoop,
And
whoop,
or in the
whoop,
chat.
whoop, whoop.
You know what? It's like anything else. It depends on how serious you take privacy.
True.
And it's also, if like I run a VPN,
Mhm.
and if I go out and use Wi-Fi, I'm on a VPN, my own VPN when I'm using that Wi-Fi because I don't want anybody getting in.
Okay.
Okay. I got nothing to hide.
Nope.
I got stuff to
But
protect.
still.
There's a difference, right? It's
Yeah,
not
big
what you're
difference.
hiding, it's what you need to protect. I don't give a
Yeah.
shit about what you're hiding. They're looking for the valuables. Okay.
Right.
They don't care if you spend half your life on Pornhub. They're
They
looking
want
for
them
they're looking
16
for those
numbers.
bank accounts, man.
Yeah, them 16
Okay.
numbers on them cards.
That's right. That's right.
They look-
So it's just being a smart consumer like anything else. I mean, change the name of Alexa. Right out of the box, first thing you should do.
Yes.
Okay. Because there's plenty of YouTube influencers that will influence your Alexa to go buy something they're promoting. Okay.
True.
Well, Lawrence does it all the time.
What do you mean?
Me
What
and
do you-
Siri had an argument before she was getting in on my conversation.
You know,
Okay.
Yeah. I
it's
even
just,
asked you nothing.
it's-
You weighing in, Siri. What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
it's funny because I know like I would go on Philly Drone Lights live stream and I know he has his Alexa next to his computer. So I would go, Alexa, something, something, something. And she would start up because she would hear me through the speaker. So he finally got wise and started unplugging it.
Hey, you got to rename it.
Change the name.
Change your name.
You know, that's
Change your
interesting. That's I
One
never
of those
thought about
names-
Sparky
that.
Two-Tone.
One
Hey,
of those
Sparky
names that
Two-Tone, put
nobody
on,
would come out
yeah,
and
the
say
Bee Gees.
arbitrarily.
Yeah, you changed the name you changed I stopped because there's one across the room, but you changed the name. And eventually, Tom, they'll do like the cable companies and say, you can't change the name anymore and you can't change the router, SSID anymore. But they actually selling routers like that to customers, these cable companies. And you know what you do? You go out and you buy your own cable modem and you can set it up
Router,
the way
yep.
you're supposed to.
That's it.
It's,
That's all I do.
look, or
And a lot
what
of
you
people
do
don't.
is you,
Go
like me,
ahead.
marry a Filipina, you learn Tagalog, and then you only speak to Siri in Tagalog. Okay. So, just like I look, my uncle raised King German Shepherds because he used to have a fuel oil delivery company with 4 trucks. and the shepherds would be your right hand, your partner in the front cab, because back in those days you would make deliveries and pick up cash. So that King German Shepherd sitting in that passenger seat was your partner for the day. But they only took commands in German. Okay. There we had to learn a series of a few different commands that the dogs would follow. I mean, you could talk to the dog, you'd wag his tail, all that. But if you tried to get the dog to do something, it would not react unless you, as the driver, said something, one of the words to get him to react.
One of the words to get ready.
That's how my uncle trained the dogs. I mean,
How you're supposed to be.
Dogs are strange because you can teach a dog any command and associate it with a thing. Yeah. And for him, that means that. No matter what you say, that's what it means, that.
Yes. Very literal.
When a dog, I realized that with certain things with dogs when they're trained properly, before dog starts the bite game, he's going to look to you for that command.
My dog, before any maybe went to my dog and try to pet him, he's looking at me if it's okay. Like,
right. And that's the right way.
That's the way it should be.
Exactly.
That's the way it should be.
But it's like anything else, right, Ray? Unless you invest the time, you don't get what you expect. Okay.
Exactly.
And when people don't get what they expect, then the next thing you know, the shelters fill up. Okay. You know what? I'm really afraid.
He said, "What? I bet your dog gonna come out there with this chicken." I said, "Try it, because if he go with you with that chicken, he gonna go home with you. How about that?"
Yeah.
He said, "Yo, come on, get this chicken." My dog looked at him and looked at me, like put his head down. I said, "You know better."
Yeah. One of my friends would make his two dogs say their prayers before they were allowed to eat. It was hilarious. It was hilarious. But and they did it not so much because they wanted the food, but they wanted to please him. Okay.
Dogs are so obedient, man. Like,
but they want
1 second, they love you the next second.
My cousin upstate, she's got a Great Dane, but it's marked like a Dalmatian, and the dog's name is Gracie. She thinks she's a lap dog. Okay. And if she stood straight up, she'd be closer to 6.5, 7 feet tall. Okay. Her head is enormous, but she thinks she's a lap dog. She's the funniest thing going. And I just get a kick out of my cousin, post pictures of what, Gracie is up to next, she's her own little sitcom.
My Chihuahua.
But you know what I'm afraid of? I'm afraid after all these, after people start returning to the workplace, what's going to happen to all these dogs they adopted this past pandemic? I just hope they realize that they have made a commitment there.
Yeah. Hey, what's up, EBR?
Yeah.
How about the divorce rate, though?
Dude, you knew that was coming, man. The divorce and the birth rate, they both went up.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Man, I can get away from this, dude, because a lot of people got stuck with people they didn't really want to be with throughout this whole pandemic,
Well, think about the dating game, dude. Swiping left, swiping right ain't working right now, is it?
Ain't working right now. Nope.
Yeah.
No, it's not right now. Not at all.
How do you date during this? I mean, like this? Okay. Sorry, Lawrence. You got too much facial hair for me.
Unfortunately, Tom, people are doing it, and people are dating virtually, and they think it works. I guess
and you got to go get a test, right? What's that sound like? Okay. Got to go get that test.
Before I date you, I need to see your COVID negative.
So let me get this straight. So like after 3-4 of these Zoom dates, now what?
Now you got to go get a rapid test.
Now that you're a couple.
What do you think you got to do? Then you got to take takeout. You got to meet in each of your cars and park driver's window to driver's window for that first meet, right? Okay.
Okay. So Corona's been going on for almost a year now. So after 3 months, then what?
Then again, rapid test, and you better be moving into that pod, man.
You're holding out for 3 months.
Well, the problem is the pod now becomes your new world that you might not be ready for, like Raymond was saying there. Okay. So, these relationships built out of necessity
Mhm.
Okay, they might not last.
Wow.
You know, but then again, some might as a result of this. Okay, so
No,
you get both
you
sides.
see what he put, Herman? Phone sex.
Yeah.
Or as they call it, sex.
That's why what was it, Pornhub or X Hamster or one of those sites, their stock, the value of the companies went sky high.
Oh,
Okay.
man.
Yeah.
Sex toys and all that went skyrocket.
Skyrocket,
Straight
man.
to businesses.
Can't find it though.
Most
Hey, if you guys stick around long enough, I'll give you my webcam number, okay, and my PayPal account, and look, we'll work it out, okay?
Figure it out.
no,
Yeah.
that's okay. Hold on a second. It sounds like somebody threw a box down my stairway.
Oh, is that how you get your
That's how
deliveries?
they deliver shit.
You know, Amazon now doesn't
You
ring the
order
front door,
anything?
even though I'm home all day long.
It's
They go to the back and they find the puddle in the back of the house, and that's where they put it, in the puddle. Okay,
Oh,
but
wow.
it's safe. It's in the, and then they make it even better. They take a picture of it,
Yep.
Okay.
In the puddle.
and I'm sitting in the front room, and then all of a sudden my
Right there.
phone goes off, and I wait. That's my backyard, and that's my package sitting in a puddle. And I look out the window, and the guy's getting into the prime truck and driving away. I go, I'm in the front room.
Yeah.
I actually
Lazy.
caught the guy in the hallway one day, and he says to me, "Oh, I got to take a picture." I said, "No, you don't. You gave me the." Went inside. You stay out there and take a picture of the door closing.
Start doing the hand model stuff. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
When
Does
they
this go
say
up
that-
on my Amazon review? Do I get my $10
never
Amazon
understood
credit?
that thing about the picture in front of the door.
The proof. Yeah. The proof that he put it exactly where the porch pirate can get it.
No, it's a proof
Okay.
that he took a
Yeah,
picture of it. That's all it's a proof of.
Yeah. So you take a picture of it.
And then
So
turn
I take
around
a
and pick it
picture
up
of
and take it
this.
with you.
And yeah, then I take it with me. Yeah.
You just take a picture of it.
Well, that's why I get a kick out of watching some of the Ring doorbell camera footage that's out there. You know, where the UPS guy, he trips coming up the thing. He's all pissed off. So he puts the box down. He does like a field goal kick with it. He knocks over 3 plants and he curses his way down the driveway. And you're on camera, dude.
Now, I've seen
Okay.
a couple of those.
Mhm.
There was one in particular I talked about before with a guy with a drone, where his friend was always flying around the neighborhood with his drone. So he talked to him about getting one, and he got one. But while he was at work, his was delivered, and the lady with the Amazon truck, she threw it out the window and it didn't make it to the porch, so she got out and kicked it up onto the porch. So the guy in the neighborhood
Loves
caught
that
it on
job.
video. The drone
Yeah.
didn't work when the guy opened it up. Now he knows
Right.
why. I've seen
How
those.
about the lady? How about the lady and her husband? He drop her off. She go get the package, and then
broke her leg?
realize, yeah, broke her leg, man, running back. I'm like, wow.
She
Or
slipped
the one where the husband,
grass and
where
broke
she
her
ran
leg.
up to the car, Ray,
Yeah.
with the package, and the woman's coming out of the front door, and the husband takes off and leaves the white.
Yo,
thing
left
behind.
her. Yeah. Left her like that.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that
Oh,
relationship will last through a couple of bail hearings.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well,
That's funny, man. That's
not
funny.
bad.
That one with the broken
Look at
leg.
what time it is, gents. Where's all the fun go?
Whoa,
Jeez.
almost that time.
Almost that time. Wow.
Not that time.
Time goes when you're having fun.
It's good
Yeah,
catching up with everybody.
Yeah,
Appreciate
of
it.
course, of course. Of course. It's always a good thing. Every Wednesday, Sunday night, as the weather gets warmer here in the States, you'll see it slowly trickle. The numbers will go down and come back up. And we're
Live
used
on
to
the
it.
street.
This is year number 2, Herman. Now,
Yeah. Coming
when
down.
do you in a few weeks, Herman, you hit your 100th show.
Well, you're gonna hit 100 before me.
Yeah, I have 3 more live streams before I hit 100. For you FPV heads out there, which are very few, but I do know there are a few that watch the live streams afterwards. I'm thinking of having some type of small FPV giveaway, and Herman,
is thinking about having some kind of camera drone giveaways.
Well,
Nothing
definitely
special,
we
nothing
will
spectacular. Don't ask for no damn Mavic Minis and shit like that.
Coming
said
out of the
when we-
crash bag. Didn't say it works, but we're giving it away.
Right.
We will have something. We will
I
have
got 4
something nice.
keyboards, 3 old monitors, okay, and a power supply. I'll be giving that away on the next podcast, okay?
When you say monitor,
You just got to come by and pick it up, okay? That's all.
what kind of monitors you got there, Phil?
Listen,
What's that?
well,
Actually, I'm giving it away, baby.
I'm actually
What kind of
coming up
monitors you
on
got?
episode number 98, I believe, which means I have 3 more shows, live stream, 3 more Sundays to do. But on that particular 100th live stream, I'll probably give something FPV away. Nothing spectacular, but FPV pilots can always use different stuff. Tom's giving out some CRT monitors.
I didn't say they work, but yeah, I'm giving them away. Sanitation will take them.
No controller. See, Stevie,
We
now
will
you're
have
starting shit.
something nice. Not like Lawrence said, we're not giving away a Mavic 2 Pro, but we're gonna give away something.
Yeah.
Something
Yeah.
nice, just to say we appreciate you guys for coming and hanging out with us. Because, like we always say, without you guys, this
Eat more possum. Just subscribe to you, Novice
Thank you
Squad.
for the support. Eat more
Well,
possum.
that-
I'm already
What's
a
up, bro?
member of your page. Wait a minute. Is this a new?
This looks like a noob.
No, YouTube has this way of subscribing you and unsubscribing you to people's pages. And I think it's messed up because if people come here regularly, you should not have to resubscribe to someone's page. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Jeannie's joint just said she just put up a 24-hour cam.
Okay.
Be careful with those cameras, especially if they're Wi-Fi cameras.
Yes.
Anything Wi-Fi the signal can be snatched. I would rather hook up everything hardwire and worry about wires being all over the place.
Well, wires don't necessarily have to be all over the place. If it's done properly, the piping and everything is done correctly, you point the house the right way, shouldn't be a big problem. Shouldn't be a big
Phantom
problem.
4 props, the timely, the flimsy ones, LOL. See, Stevie's talking shit now.
Stevie wants some props.
Stevie's the prop master.
Are you talking about the butter knives, Stevie?
I got plenty of those if you want them, but
Yeah, I
you
have.
know,
I
it's
even
all
have some
fine,
butter
man.
knives to give away.
Because I'm quite sure there's other guys that want to go live. But
It's that time.
It's that time.
It's
And
that time, gents.
it's Wednesday night. And Wednesday night with those guys is sponsored by
Those
guys.
Y'all did that pretty good.
Yeah, thank you guys. Hey, thank you guys for hanging out tonight, talking, having this conversation. Nice conversation this evening. The guys in the chat, I'd like to thank you. We appreciate you for coming by and hanging out with us. But without you, once again, this will not be possible.
This is true. Very, very true.
So it's gonna say goodnight, and I'll see you guys on Sunday when from Novice Quads, and we'll talk to you guys further about that giveaway because we're gonna have a giveaway on his channel and on his 100 show.
Many one giveaway. Many one.
And a giveaway on my 100 show. But I'm gonna say goodnight, and I'll see you Sunday. Anybody else have anything to say?
Stay safe. Stay healthy.
Stay safe and fly safer.
We'll see you next time.
Vaccine shot, get
Panther
it.
Flight 101 with those guys. Good night, everybody.